Corey wanted nothing more than to get to wherever Triborn was taking her as fast as possible. Unfortunately, the corridor they were walking through was tight, and she was forced to move at Triborn's pace, which was slow. The dress they gave her to wear was uncomfortable and didn't fit properly, so Corey was constantly adjusting it on her body. She also noticed that the walls of the corridor they were walking through were more solid than the area they entered from. Some parts of the walls were patched up with pieces of metal, but none of the walls were as dirty as the area where they were attending to the people who were shot by the arrows. After what felt like forever, Triborn stopped in front of yet another set of metal doors. He knocked twice and the doors opened. More guards with armor and spears let them in. They entered into a large square room. On one side of the room were just a few chairs and a cabinet or two. On the other side was a large machine. This machine had a place for someone to stand, a device that attaches to the person's head, and two large clamps for the person's arms. Strapped to the device was Tor, who appeared to be unconscious as his eyes were closed. Corey could see he was at least breathing. Griswold pressed the buttons on a device connected to the machine and gave orders to his servants, who were running back and forth. Some of them left the room, while others ran over to small jars placed on nearby tables. The jars were all filled with different colored liquid, each accompanied with the same Walton-made spheres that Mavis was stealing. Corey quickly scanned the room for Audra and Cindy, but did not see them. "Where are my friends?" Corey spoke softly so that only Triborn could hear her. "Don't worry about them right now," Triborn answered her, but did not turn to face her. Instead, he embraced two women who approached him wearing similar dresses to Corey's. "This is her," one of the women said. She reached out and grabbed Corey's arm. She inspected Corey like she was a completely new species. "She's beautiful." "You two look the same," said Corey bluntly. As she spoke the words, the other woman began doing the same to Corey's other arm. Identical twins. Both women had long brown hair, styled in the same way, and brown eyes. Even the few blemishes on their faces were the same. "I'm Sandre, and this is Eleanor." Sandre smiled as she played with a part of Corey's hair. Eleanor kept her hand on Corey's wrist, but touched her hair on the opposite side. "Griswold should have let us style your hair before the ceremony." "Why are you older than they are?" Corey asked Triborn, looking through the twins as if they weren't standing there. "They look identical, but they both look related to you." Triborn grabbed both of the women and pushed them along to the seats near the machine. The whole time, the two women kept looking back at Corey. Triborn walked back over to her. "They're related to me, that's why." "You told me your siblings were dead," Corey continued to press. "How can they be alive and so much younger than you? Was it magic? Did Griswold do that?" "Yes." The response came from Griswold, who was still looking at the device he was working on. He spoke loud enough so Corey could hear him. As he heard Corey and Triborn approach, he turned to face her. "Look at them." Griswold pointed to Sandre and Eleanor, sitting in the front row near him. "Exact copies of each other. Magnificent." "They were born that way. That's not the suspicious part. That can happen," said Corey. Griswold walked over and put his hand out. Sandre kissed it first, then Eleanor. "We might never see it again in Seva. Such a rare and beautiful thing. How could one not preserve such beauty?" Corey looked at Triborn. He was looking down at the floor. She turned her gaze back to Griswold. "You were able to do this with magic?" "Seva is capable of many things the rest of Novessa is not, even after the events that changed it into what it is now." He released his hand from Eleanor and returned to the device. "Such extreme experiments are impossible without the proper sacrifice, I'm afraid, but the results speak for themselves." "You took years off Triborn's life to make his sisters younger." Corey took a few steps closer to Griswold, but two of the nearby guards grabbed her arms. "Let go of me." "No need to be so hostile." Griswold raised his hand, and the guards let Corey go. Triborn agreed it was best for Seva to preserve its only set of identical twins. If that magic is truly possible, it should not even be legal. Corey looked at the chairs as more people were beginning to fill them. She looked at each entrance as well. "Where are Audra and Cindy?" "Don't worry about them," Griswold repeated Triborn's words from earlier. "Where are my friends?" Corey's voice grew louder. Instead of grabbing her arms this time, the guards just stood in Corey's way. "We know now that you're a detective, but are all the questions really necessary?" Griswold moved forward and spoke into one of the guards' ears. Go on. Now is as good a time as any." The guard that Griswold whispered to grabbed Corey by both of her arms and sat her in a nearby chair. Sandre and Eleanor were on their feet now. The chair Corey was forced onto by the guard had straps for both the hands and the feet. The twins strapped Corey into the chair so she couldn't move. "What are you doing?" Corey screamed and tried to tip the chair, but it wouldn't budge. "The only thing more beautiful than identical twins is you. You, too, are magnificent." Griswold hopped over to Corey and tapped her nose with his index finger. Now, as the chief of the even smaller remains of Seva, I will need a queen. She must be smart, intelligent, and have a great sense of style. You're perfect. I can't just let you go. And my friends? Oh, my friends. They're not your friends anymore. Griswold walked back over to the device. He continued to work as he spoke. I sent them to the lot. What's the lot? Asked Corey. If I'm going to be your queen, I need to know these things. Sandre and Eleanor laughed in unison, but Sandre spoke for them both. The lot is where we hold our public executions. People wander in here sometimes, and we can't have them telling everyone that there are still people living in Seva. We've been abandoned by those people. Right, Sanjay. We have been abandoned, and those people don't deserve us or our magic, Triborn shouted. Triborn's words made Sanjay and Eleanor turn to look at him. Griswold put his hand on Triborn's shoulder. Relax, Triborn. You're correct in your feelings, but let's try to be civil, okay? Civil? Try to be civil. Corey squirmed in the chair. You have me strapped to a chair and you sent my friends to be executed. Griswold leaned over to Tor, whose eyes were still closed. She didn't even mention you, and you're right here. Awkward. The sound of the two metal doors that Corey and Triborn had entered from caught Griswold's attention. We're not expecting anyone else, he said in Triborn's direction. No one can even get in here without an escort. I'll see to it. Triborn bowed, then rushed for the doors. Corey tried to look at what was happening behind her, but her range of motion was limited by the straps, that should be. She tried to listen to the best of her ability. When Triborn reached the door, one of Griswold's other followers, a young girl with messy, short blonde hair, was waiting for him. May, who is this? Triborn spoke of a person standing behind the girl. May clenched her left shoulder with her right hand. She looked uncomfortable. This is Jagger. He said he was invited. May's words caused Corey to clench the arms of the chair. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. When she opened them, she noted Griswold focused on Jagger. She contemplated telling him who he is, if he didn't know already. Griswold scurried over to them and inspected Jagger's attire. Jagger wasn't wearing his mask again, but was still in his Welton Company suit. Your attire. It is beautiful. Jagger remained quiet as Griswold touched the front of his suit. He turned his head to look at Triborn. I've never seen a man as beautiful as this before. Have you, Triborn? Not besides you, my chief, said Triborn. Jagger couldn't help but smile. He thought of saying something, but Griswold continued. Judging by your outfit, I would assume you are from the Welton Company, but since meeting Corey, it's hard to tell now. Are you Welton, or are you too a detective for the guard? Jagger pushed the hair out of his face. What do you think I am? Oh, Griswold tapped Jagger on the shoulder, then began to walk toward the device. I honestly don't care anymore. Come join the festivals. Come join the festivities. Festivals kind of works, maybe. Not really. Triborn tried to match Griswold's pace back to the device holding Tor. Chief, are you sure this man is a guest? Someone invited him here and it wasn't us. Griswold looked at Sandre and Eleanor. The twins were enamored by Jagger as he walked closer toward them. I'm guessing it wasn't your sisters either. Whoever it was, I must know. They should be rewarded. Jagger searched for an empty seat in the back. Sandre took the opportunity to walk over to him. Jagger, was it? Jagger turned to look at her, then grabbed her hand. Yes, that is my name. What do they call you? Sandre. Please, don't sit back here. You are welcome to join us up front. I don't want to intrude. I just wanted to see the ceremony. Jagger looked at their hands as Sandre grabbed his and pulled him to the front. I insist, Sandre said with a smile as she led Jagger over to the front. Eleanor was seated beside Corey, and Jagger sat next to her. Sandre filled in the seat on the other side. Two women began to rub Jagger's arms and hair in a similar fashion to how they greeted Corey. Who is your twin? Jagger asked. I am Eleanor, she said with a smile. And her? Jagger leaned forward and locked eyes with Corey. This was the first time Corey had seen any of the Welton Company main members without their mask on. She'd been a bad girl, said Sandre in Jagger's left ear. Bad, repeated Jagger. So bad, Eleanor said in Jagger's other ear. We're ready to begin, Griswold yelled. Everyone in the room immediately became quiet, then began clapping. It has been a while since the last ceremony, but this time we have a special guest. The man trapped in the machine. Jagger leaned in Eleanor's direction. I've never seen a man so large before. Knowing about the gargoyle, Corey couldn't help but roll her eyes. He came here with the one strapped down next to me. His magical power is unlike anything we've seen before, said Eleanor. I would like you all to meet Tor, a mysterious wanderer from the world outside, the same world that abandoned us. People gathered for the ceremony booed. But don't worry, today we make a major breakthrough, a major step toward remembering our origins. A way to figure out how to piece together what happened to our beautiful Seva. Griswold stepped aside to press more buttons on the device. The machine began to make noise and Tor started to wake up. What are you doing? Tor said with a hoarse voice. He was having trouble seeing, but once his eyes adjusted, he could see Corey confined to the chair in front of him. Let her go. No, Griswold. No. Griswold grabbed Tor by his cheeks. It is you who will help us go. Back to a time we lost. Before anything could happen, a loud whoosh noise drew the attention of the room back to the metal doors. A gathering of black smoke conjured in front of the doors, and out from it came an arrow, aiming for Griswold's head. Griswold shrieked, but the arrow was caught. In front of Griswold stood Jagger. His mask was now on. You're not the blue elf I was looking for.